Have you settled the score about the drop chain?
No, it's written down.
It's Baden Cook. I completely forgot about Baden Cook.
He forgot about
I think it's a bit surprised that I won. It's not many occasions where you actually set a plan and they actually come off.
Hearing that from him, gives me goosebumps.
Cadell Evans cannot be beaten now.
This is the first time I hear Stewie and Andy's side of the story.
And I took a cab home in the Magna Rosa, and the cab driver did not believe me. That was actually the pink jersey of why the hell would you be in my cab?
What I've learned through my life is everything is just a phase,
It's a real pleasure for me to be able to come back and jump on here with you guys because I admire what you do. I really do.
Hey guys, welcome back. D2 Live, here to recap the opening 9 stages of the 2024 Tour de France. Joined as always, 4-time national road champion from Australia and the voice of cycling. We've covered all those tech issues and he joins us live from on the ground at the tour. Phil Liggett, of course. Start with you, Phil. Welcome back to the D2, mate. It's been a while.
It's been a while and it's great to be back. Yeah.
And what an amazing start.
Very good.
I was going to say, what an amazing start to the Tour de France.
It's been a story every day from the minute we started the Tour de France this year. It's been a fabulous race. It really gave us a wonderful start off and red hot weather. I mean, the weather was 30 to 35 degrees. The Italians, as we expected, went berserk and supported the race, and of course, every day. And the French, we've criticised them over the years. First of all, they haven't won it since Bernard Hinault back in 1985. We're always saying, when are the French going to win the stage? Well, they've won 3 now in the first 9 days of racing. It's quite amazing.
They must be up and about.
They're amazing. They really are. We've had some good stuff out of the French, and I like to see that the host nation do well when they put so much into making this such a fantastic event. It never changes. The atmosphere is always good. But now you've got these young whippersnappers flying in every direction. Evan the Pole and Pogacar and Vingegaard. These guys do not respect anybody. They just race for fun. It's amazing.
What are your thoughts, Iffy? First 9 stages?
Well, we'll definitely run through all the stages, but while we've got the man here, I've got to say, Cavs win stage 5. We all thought it was special, but for you, Phil, who's called all of his wins, all of his 35 wins, and I saw a little clip of you in tears on the NBC, and I thought it was just beautiful. So, just how important was that for you? That win for you?
I completely cracked up. I mean, I got through the stage, and then 3 questions from the host studio and for our TV program on NBC, and I welled up, and I found it very difficult to continue. The whole of the career came flooding back. Suddenly, realization, the story's magic with Mark, because last year, was definitely his last year. He was finished. And then gets narrowly beaten by Jasper Philipsen in Bordeaux. The next day, he crashes and breaks his collarbone. And I remember I went to Peter Kenyuk a couple of days later, and I said, Peter, do you think he'll retire? Do you think he'll stay in? He says, he won't retire. He'll be back. And of course, he comes back. He's nearly 40 years of age. These are the best sprinters we've had in the Tour for years, and they're all here. And he goes and rides like that, like his old self. The Manx missiles, just locking on as he carves through the peloton. Then he sees the finish, checks it out, goes and wins. I was virtually crying as I called the sprint. I couldn't believe it.
You say these things, we get excited with the emotion of it all. One of his greatest victories, but it was one of his greatest victories. I can tell you, there is not another bike rider in that race who could have gotten through like he did. It was, to me, the best of Robbie McEwen. Robbie's the only one I could think of that could do exactly what he did, to dive through those gaps as he did so perfectly and so quickly. I mean, it was not a 39-year-old Mark Cavendish doing that. It was a 25-year-old Mark Cavendish. It was just the most amazing win.
Exactly. He was making space in that peloton like you could not believe. And he was moving around. He went straight across from the right of the road, left of the road to get the shorter way. He came out as smooth as you like. There was nobody else in that race. Philipsen congratulated him with his hand behind him, actually passed him on the finish line. Arnaud de Lee patted him on the back as they went across the finishing line. He just finished in 4th place. The whole peloton stopped. And Mark, I think he was shaking hands with half of that peloton when he was running around the finish and not believing it. And you know, I actually got a letter from somebody who said the result was fixed.
I wish they gave us the mail. He was paying about $14.
A guy can't do that.
It's a hard one to fix, that one.
He said, that's not possible. He says, that result was fixed to get him his record win. But I didn't reply because we don't
Not worth replying or even discussing that one. That's ridiculous.
No.
But
Now, Phil, you know the great Eddie Merckx, who he's taken the record off. Surely Eddie Merckx has got the shits up a bit. He's the one guy that everyone was happy. You reckon he's happy to pass on the baton?
Yeah, he is. I haven't spoken to him since Cav won. I bet he's spoken to Cav, though, because Eddie would be the first congratulating, I think. Many years ago, I said, Eddie, watch out, mate. Cav's going to get your record. Oh, yes, but he said, it's not as good as my record. I win mountains, time trials, I win sprints. He's only winning sprints, you say.
very true.
Listen, Eddie always complains about life in general. He's the most fantastic guy to chat to.
Yeah.
And
That's very true, too, because
when I
he might have beaten the number, but there's only one Eddie Merckx.
Yes, but, and Mark always played it down. He kept saying, yeah, but Eddie's winning far better than I could have done. I'm just a sprinter. And of course, he was aiming at Andre Dadegaard's 22 wins. He was the sprinter. And Dadegaard, of course, is out long since retired, so he's on 22. And Mark has sailed away now, and he's got the record. But the fact is, he's done it. Okay, his specialty is sprinting. It's just as hard in many ways as climbing a mountain to get to that peloton, the finish line. Very dangerous way of living your life. So, but Eddie changes the whole attitude. When they equaled on 34, Eddie was there with Cav for the photos and congratulating him. And I never ever spoke again of yes, but Cav was equally on the record. That was it.
Well, what was great to see backstage was today Pogačar with Cav's kids, because his son just wanted to see Pogačar, and then he gave him his yellow glasses. And it was funny when Cav saw Pogačar and he said, "Hey, don't you go breaking it." Straight away.
That's right. The pub was warming down after the stage, and Cav went in there, and his last words were, "You're right," he said, "When you break my record."
Yeah. Oh, he was serious. And we've got a live comment from Paul Sutton who said exactly the same thing. He said, I love how Cav said today, don't go beating my record. He recognised that the record will eventually be beaten. Do you think?
Know when. It's going to be a long, long time. But
it's going to be a long slog.
Go back to stage one. First climb, and I mean, it was a really hot day. We know all that, extreme conditions. But he's out the back very early. The whole team's there riding, pouring water. He looked very distressed. You wouldn't have been putting too much money on him, even finishing that day, let alone coming out and winning a stage.
No, you wouldn't. And I think you're talking about Bardet now.
No, I'm talking about stage one with Cav. The trouble he was in, getting dropped on the first climb.
That was terrible. And I mean, we debated whether to show him on television being sick. I was told to warn the viewers to look away if they were having a breakfast, because it's 6 o'clock in the morning on the west coast of America and 9 o'clock on the east coast. So they're probably having breakfast, and we're about to show a guy screwing up on television. And so we debated it and decided, well, it's the race. When he went off on the very first climb of the day, I thought, my God, he can't go off. He's never going to get to the finish now. The whole day was about whether he beat the time limit. He did by, I think it was 6 to 8 minutes in the end. He had it worked out. But that team came to the race only for Mark Cavendish. If he left on the first day, they had no team left. There was nobody left apart from Lutsenko, and a couple of guys could go for stage wins later in the race. That was it. But the whole team went back for him. If he'd have been eliminated, they'd have gone out with him. And of course, Gazzoli, the first time in the race, he only lasted about 3 hours of the tour because he got sunstroke, and he was out the race, and he was back there with Cav as well. We were debating all the time off camera, is this it? He should never have come, etc. But what we don't know is we don't really know Cav. this guy is the best bike rider. He fights, he never says no. And his whole attitude, his whole persona now is his newborn confidence and belief in himself. Listen, he was strong enough to get the wife and the kids a camper, and they're following the race in a camper. And that's why the whole family were there the day the dream come true. They suddenly appeared. So he wasn't going to spend all that money with a camper for the family following the Tour de France. He wasn't going to win the stage. He gave it his best shot. It all fell into place. It was a magical situation.
Yeah.
How are you finding? Because is this the first year you've been back on the ground, or were you back on the ground last year? Because remember when we last dialed in, you were in the studio.
Yeah, we did 2 years of COVID down in London, which was far from ideal. And of course, COVID still has meant that we no longer have the same number of people working here. We used to have about 80 guys here. I think we're down to about 16 now. We just have reporters and commentators, a couple of cameramen, and the people we need to look after us. And that is it. So all the American crew are in America, and their call time in the States every day is 3 o'clock in the morning. And the race is around 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, they're finished at 11 o'clock in the morning, so they can go home, but they have to go to bed. You know, the whole routine's ruined for 3 weeks. They'll be very happy today. It's a rest day, but they'll probably wake up at 2 a.m. to go and check into the office. And it's different because we can't run out of our comedy box and talk to the producer. He's in my ear all the time, but you know, if we want to go and have a whisper about something, we can't do that anymore. It's not the same, and I feel sorry for the guys because they love the fever of the Tour de France when you're amongst it. And of course, when I wasn't there, when we were doing COVID from the Sky Television studios, which NBC owns, we were when we went down there, I couldn't look to my mate on the right, the commentators, and say, "Hey, who is this kid?" And they say, "Oh, he comes from so and so. He's done this," and we were waiting for him to come to the Tour de France. Then the story comes out. We can't do that anymore. Well, we couldn't then. We can now, but then now it's gone even worse. Now they've given me my own television studio, which is a yellow studio, of course. I would get by the finishing line sometimes, but again, that's changed this year. And it's a fabulous commentary box. I walk around it. We can have a table in there. We can have dinner in there. You know, and then massive televisions. We used to commentate on little television. Now we have big screens. Life has changed for us completely. I even have a guy look after me now. Literally, everything I do, he even carries my bags, and I hate him for that because I turn around to pick my bag up and it's gone. I think somebody's stolen it, and then a panic starts. It's a whole new world now. I think they're recognising my age. You see. They do. Well, they help me down the stairs now. I have to turn the piss off because I'm fine. I know I'm old, but I'm still okay.
Well, I've got to give a shout out to one of your old sparring partners from NBC last year. That's Sam Bewley, who's obviously a DS for Israel Premier Tech. But he had to leave the race early because there was a pending arrival. Hannah Barnes' fiance was pregnant and expected to deliver after the tour finished. But he got the call at 4 a.m, drove 8 hours, made the birth, and they welcomed their first child, a daughter, Elvie. So
I didn't know.
Everyone's doing well, but there was a bit of panic stations for a while there. Iffy, back in your day, you just would have said to the missus, "Listen, I'm working at the Tour de France."
Yeah,
I'll
see it me, was it? I was at the Olympics when Lisa was born. I didn't find out I was a dad for 3 days, but different world back then, mate. Different world back then.
Well, we had the same problem last year, didn't we, with Van Aert? Wout had to leave.
Yes. Yeah.
Sam, by the way, yes, we really enjoyed Sam. He was a very good analyst, and he was in the States on the 3 a.m. calls all the time. Look at that.
Yeah, for our viewers, listeners won't know what's going on, but John's just brought his dog into the shot.
Hello. He loves Phil. Hello, Phil.
No, just saying that Sam, his team said, "Hey, you can't do the TV. You've got to be the DS on the race." So there we are.
He's had a stellar year, but obviously Tour Down Under, Flesh will own. He's had the big wins.
Yeah. Steve Williams, who won the Tour Down Under, he's struggling a little bit in this tour, the first tour for him, but he'll get better. Yeah.
Now, obviously,
today I wanted to win.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man. I met him first off this year on the Tour Down Under. What a genuine guy he is.
Good bike rider.
A very good bike rider. He might win the stage yet too.
Yeah. Obviously, another big story from the opening 9 days is obviously Binny and Gamay. We know that Eritrean riders have huge support on the ground. Daniel Tekla-Hymanite used to ride at Green Edge when he had the polka dots, those 3 stages, I think it was in 2015, 2016. He literally came home to a ticker tape parade because of those 3 days. I can only imagine just the support, and they'd be going absolutely bonkers back home.
We've got pictures which were put out on television yesterday. I've got pictures of when he won his second stage in Eritrea. They are cycling mad now. The kids from 3 years of age upwards, it's Binny. They were chanting. They call him Binny. Binny. The roads were rammed. The firecrackers were going off. The bikes were everywhere. It was a scene to behold. And he's a total hero in his country. He'll go back. I don't know what the equivalent of a knighthood is in Eritrea, but he'll get it for sure. But his confidence now he's got that stage win here, which he did in Turin. His confidence, he's chasing. First of all, we thought, just nip out and get a few points and get that green jersey on his shoulders. Another first for your country. But now he's looking like he can take this all the way to Nice.
Oh, I think he will too, mate. Yeah, he's got 2 things going for him, I reckon. One that Philipson doesn't seem to have quite the same form. He lost a few. Really got relegated the other day, lost 30 points or whatever. But the other thing is Matthew Van der Poel is definitely not in the same form as last year. So he can't do the same lead outs that he was doing last year, which is going to make a big difference.
No, that was a stage yesterday for Van der Poel. He thought it was a stage for him, but he locked in that second chase group. That was a really class chase group, and they couldn't catch those few riders literally seconds up the road who stayed clear to the finish. So, he hasn't got the same form, and that was a day he should have excelled, of course. 6 times a world cyclocross champion, handles those roads with no problem at all, but never got there.
No. I thought you were going to give me a shout out, Johnny. I left the door open with Gamay, particularly second win.
We're talking about who would have picked Cav to win after what happened on the first day. Not even the great tipster Dan Jones would have picked that, I was going to say, because Dan did pick the winner on very good odds for Gamay.
You did that?
I did. Iffy, I said, look, I'll smack on a few shillings on the stage win, and whatever we get, I'll split it up the guts with you. And he said, righto, put money on Wout van Aert and a little bit on Groenewegen. I said, no worries, I've put money on Gamay.
Didn't listen to one thing I said, thank God.
Yeah. You just got to back yourself.
I did the same when Groenewegen won. I put him on. I had him for the day, and he pulled it out the bag, thank heavens.
Well, just on Groenewegen, obviously a huge relief for the team. They come into the tour, with a bit of pressure, and it's one of those things they always talk about. If you do get a stage in that first week, it makes a hell of a difference. I think one of the biggest benefactors of that would potentially be Michael Matthews, given that, he can not fly under the radar, but he doesn't feel the weight of that sort of tension building in the bus. Don't you reckon, Phil?
I do. Michael has made a lot of moves in this race. Someone gone a little bit under the radar, but he's lucky. Even yesterday, he was right in amongst it, as you know. He just seems to be lacking something and a little bit of luck to make the move that will count.
Yeah.
There's still a long
evidently hasn't been well, and he's had, they think it could have been a tooth issue, a wisdom tooth. They should have got out and didn't get out. But yesterday actually was the first time he's shown some form and looked quite strong, because other days he's just been really struggling. But yesterday, that was a very, very good ride. He, with Gamay and Van der Poel, I was quite surprised that they didn't get on. I mean, they were 20 seconds down with 15K to go, and I thought, well, they're going to get there for sure, but they never got there.
Yeah, because everybody in that front group all felt they could win the day. And the one man who won, I never thought could win. Anthony Tergis, and then the French story continues there. Delighted for him. He's never won a stage of the tour before, and he's ridden about 8 times, I think. That was a great result for France and for him and for his team. But the race really, those guys, and Gamay was there as well, don't forget. was a class chase group, and they didn't close the gap, and they could see the riders on those
I
gravel
know.
roads. They never got across. It was crazy.
Wasn't the
Great
French
rider,
photography
Stephen.
motorbikes, was
I thought he was going to win it. When he was that way in those last few cars, would have been beautiful, but he just couldn't hold the main cord about 500 to go. I think. Yeah.
It was, yeah. It's just a bit longer. Just have to become about 7 or 8. But even so, John, I like that's for saying. He's a great guy. His family own a chocolate factory. So I mean, they make chocolates. But what else would you do? Belgian chocolates are the best in the world. That's what they do. And when he's not riding his bike, he's making chocolates.
I like him too.
I like it too. But I would have loved Jasper to on stage because he's another good guy, full of fight, and he's never won a race.
Yeah. So let's just duck back to stage 1. Can we do that? Can we duck back because we've skirted around it, but that ride of Romain Bardet that day was pretty special. But the guy who ran second, Frank Vandenbroek, wow, what a ride he put up. The two of them, to jump away like that and hold off a charging bunch. No one thought they would stay away. And Vandenbroek had been out there all day, and to do that was just something else. It was a beautiful thing to watch them cross the line.
I thought he was mad. First day of his first tour, and goes in a breakaway, and that breakaway he survives right to the end of the day. Marvelous ride. I'd never heard
We're just having a few little audio issues with you, Phil.
You?
Yeah, you don't have any headphones that you can plug into your lappy, do
you? I'll try.
Maybe ask your assistant.
Yeah, I wish I could, but unfortunately, thankfully, he doesn't sleep with me.
But it was pretty good all the time. It's just that last little bit.
Yeah, just the last little bit.
Was it? Is it any better here? I've moved position.
We hear you now perfectly. Yeah.
I think it's just when you talk a bit softer.
Oh, yeah. Let me
it's
stay
a classic detour, mate. We fix our tech issues halfway through a live show. So.
Swing around so you can see me a bit clearer. Maybe I've gone nearer the route. I don't know where the route is. Right, how's that?
Yeah, that's better, mate.
I have got pods, but okay.
The other stage other couple of stages that really stand out in that first 9 days was stage 4 over the Glibier, with the Pog giving us an amazing display of descending. The way he hit him over the top of the Glibier and then put that little gap into vinegar. And there's no way that he could close it. I mean, it was good for a little while. And then to watch Remco sort of after time trial back, he was third over the top. It didn't descend so well in the windy part, but then really put the pressure on. So to watch those 4, it really showed there's only 4 people in this bike race that could actually win it. There's no one else other than one of those 4. And it really...
you say he's an intruder because he's a young lad, and they say in the years ahead, and he'll tell you that one day he can win the Tour de France, and that's for sure, I think. But this time we've repositioned now. We had our favourites, obviously. We talked about them on television back in America, and the 4 guys we talked about are the top 4 people. Roglic, obviously, a bit slow to react. He missed a move again yesterday, but they got him back. His team are working very hard at times. So I think he'll finish 4th. I don't think he'll make the podium in Paris, but he's a very clever rider. And if he sees a moment, he'll take it and he'll get a few seconds. But he's lost a bit too much time. The other 3 are head-to-head. And Pogacar this morning, he's quoted as having said, I just like racing my bike and riding on the bad roads. That's what I do. So he said, I had no plan. And he attacks 3 times. He said, well, I did that to see if they're paying attention. I just gave it everything, and then they thought, I stopped working. He said, but he was a little bit miffed with Vingegaard because when Vingegaard caught him, he wouldn't work with him. And so he thought together we could have taken time. And then Remco came up. They didn't, but they went back. And they were virtually there. with the group.
They caught them. They actually passed most of the lead break.
That's right. Yeah. There you are. That's bike racing. This guy is every which way he's in control.
One of the big advantages he has this year, his team is much stronger than Visma, and whereas last year it was probably the other way around. And watching them climb into Galibier, watching the strength of UAE was a bit scary, actually. You know, they were just on the front, putting everyone under the pump. You know, and Pogacar just had to sit back and wait till 800 meters to go and go whack. It was scary stuff. I mean, Visma has a good, strong team, maybe even slightly stronger on the flat with Van Aert and guys like that. But on the climbs, there's you're going to see regularly. You're going to see Vingegaard isolated and Remco as well. They're both going to be isolated. They're just got to wait and hope that the Pog makes a mistake.
He won't, because he rides from the front. And as you saw how he controlled over the gravel, he was always in the first 6 riders at the front. His team weren't far away from him. And the one guy who's totally impressed me with the team now is Neil Politz, former champion of Germany. He's the guy that sets the pace whenever he can, and he's flying at the moment.
Yeah.
Using him a lot as well.
Yeah.
But no, it's a foregone conclusion normally, but it's the Tour de France. About 2 weeks to race to Monaco. All the
said 2 years ago.
it is, but it's all the challenges remain. It's an horrendous last week of the Tour. Bodies will crack, believe me. And what will happen to them?
And that's exactly right, Phil. That's exactly what's going to happen, because Vingegaard, we know he's come in slightly underdone. This is his first race since April. And the fact that he hasn't lost much time, he only lost that handful of seconds on stage 4. And other than that, he didn't lose that much in the time trial.
He was very happy with it.
Yeah. So if he comes into form, that final week could be very different. And Pog would be slightly worried about Remco. I mean, if he doesn't put another minute or more into him before the last day, well, anything could happen. We could have a replay of 1989.
Don't remind Roglic about that. Eh? I was meaning the Le Monde one. Yeah, but it is a big possibility, but there's still a lot of mountains to come, of course, and bad roads and bad weather's forecast, all the usual things that make a gripping Tour de France. But Vingegaard, if you talk to him, he's very content with his time losses and his position in the race. I think he's a little bit surprised because the match he had was horrendous in the Tour of the Pays Basque, and he's never pinned a number on since that crash until this Tour started. And he's there. He's right amongst it. No.
Yep.
Yeah, and his we rang the management up before the Tour, because we ring all the teams for the week before the Tour to talk to the management about their riders, and they were telling us, Visma was saying that they kept on putting out things. He might not start. All the rumours up, this is another man's tale. But the management told us at the end, they went to Vingegaard. It was altitude training, and he said, "Are you okay to ride the Tour?" And he just looked at them. He says, "I am ready." And they said once he said that, we knew, because he wouldn't tell lies. He wouldn't make a fool of himself. He was straight in the team and the leader, and they've got real faith he'll come good. He's riding a clever race because he actually doesn't know whether his body can go the distance. That's why he wouldn't work yesterday when he got up in that group with Pogacar.
Yeah, he's copped a lot of flack for that from especially the social media. Real suck and all that. But hey, it was smart.
He never finished in his sport, first or second. I think that's a pretty good.
On his own bike, he was on his buddy teammate's bike as well. So,
Yeah. Well, he got the problem with the puncture, and when the cameras picked him up, we saw the number 1 on the bike and said Remco's in trouble. Then we looked at the guy and we saw it was Tratnik, because he'd already given his bike away to Remco and he'd gone. Apparently, Tratnik's in the race because
to Jonas, not to Vingegaard.
he has to sit always near Vingegaard. That's what he has to do.
Yeah.
Because they're virtually the same size, so that's the bike if there's a problem.
Yeah.
And particularly over those bad roads. And it happened twice, in fact, to Vingegaard. He got 2 punctures in the end.
Yeah.
But,
we've got a couple of live comments. Old man Tibber says, "Hey, you guys are back." Simon Knowles, he says, "Yet another great podcast. It's my opinion that the tour is not over yet. I'm hoping for a stage win for Bling Matthews." Now, if when's going to be the best scenario for Bling coming up?
I'll leave that to John. He tries on good stage. He needs a tough stage, but not really mountainous one.
Yeah. The next stage is actually a sprinter stage, but that's virtually a flat one. But there's a good one into Poe on stage 13.
Talk into the mic, mate.
Into stage 13 into Poe is a really good one. There's 2 Cat 4s in the last 20-30K, just right for Michael. I think you need to get – look, he showed yesterday that he's back. He's got through the really tough times, and there goes he on the phone. But there you go. We'll ignore that.
Samantha In says, "Jumbo was smart last night. As much as I love watching the Pog, he did things unnecessarily." Now, if he wins the tour, then it's just the way he races. But if he loses it because he bonks, that's when it'll be coming up.
Samantha is absolutely right. He doesn't plan. That's why he's such an annoying bike rider to the peloton. He doesn't plan. He didn't plan to attack on those roads. He just wanted to race hard on them because he loved racing on them. So he tried a few attacks. He kept checking over. When the others reached him, they shut it down. The attacks turned off. Then the real attack that came, he wanted those guys to go with him and then take more time back. But they didn't want to ride with him, so they went back to the peloton. And this guy doesn't think of the moves. He had no plan when he came out to the start line yesterday, except to ride at the front, stay out of trouble. And he suddenly feels like, I'll just see what happens. That's why he's so difficult to beat. He doesn't plan.
Yeah.
Now, Phil, you were saying just before that pre-tour for the coverage, you like to speak to team management just to pick their brain and see how everyone's traveling. Well, why don't we allow you to do that live now? Because Matt White joins us.
No, we've done Matt. We did, Matt. We picked his brain. He'll confirm it.
Welcome back to the detour, Whitey.
In fairness, Matt, you're one of the guys we interview because you really give us a laugh and you tell us as it is. And the deal we make with the teams is that what they tell us is in total confidence until we go on air on day one of the Tour de France. Then we're free to use whatever they tell us. So we don't give any secrets away. So they tell us the riders are in the team, and we don't tell anybody. And it's worked very, very well. We've got some good stuff over the years. Yeah.
It has, doesn't it? It is. And actually, out of all the years, Phil, the only people who have ever done that is with you guys. No other network has ever done that.
No, Eurosport are trying to gate crash us now. They want to share our interview stuff, but they don't choose all that. We try to get every team. From some, there's really good reasons why they can't speak to us. Some don't speak to us, but basically, Matthew always does. And you told us you're out for stage wins, Matt. And the day you won, I was staying in your hotel that night. I couldn't see you after Groenewegen won. And, we had a good... I backed him that day, not backed him literally. We have a competition on television. I put him to win and he won. So I got 5 points. So thanks.
Good man. More to come, hopefully. More to come.
Well, congratulations, Matty, because I can only just imagine what that meant to the team. We'd spoken to you only a couple of days before, and I know that you guys were under pressure. Bling was not really 100% either, but that was just an amazing stage win.
Yeah, it certainly was. Look, it's been a challenging first 9 days. We've had Simon hasn't been well. Bling hasn't been 100%. He looks like he's coming good now. And then the first couple of sprints, we had a little bit of frustration, but that's how sprints go. Only usually the winner is the person who gets it right, and even then you don't get it right sometimes, but you still win. But it's nice to have get that one in the bag, and that's our 10th Tour de France stage win over the years. So it was a sweet one.
Yeah. We'll just.
I was very impressed. Sorry, mate. Sorry, you go, Dan.
We'll just chat before, Whitey. I think one of the riders that could really benefit from that stage win is Bling. because, you know, you get a stage win in that first block. It does definitely take a percentage of the mental weight off things, and it just gives him a little bit more of that sort of free reign without feeling that pressure if a stage win didn't come, yeah?
Yeah, well, I think now we've got one of the world's best climbers who's totally off general classification. So, you know, for us, we've just got to find, and I'm sure by the time we get into the high mountains, Simon's going to be back at 100%. So, you know, we saw in 2019 when he did the Giro and we took him to the Tour de France there, and we deliberately, you know, sandbagged him for 8 days, so he would totally get off general classification, and then he just went on a mission, didn't he? Won two stages and nearly won a third one. So, you know, we've got lots of options coming up. It's a really tough back end of the race, but today's just a day for laying low and chilling out, and catching. For me, it's catching up with the coaches, and for the boys is to just to relax.
I've got a live question from Gavin Charles for you, White. He says, sorry, guys, joined late, so you've covered already, but is it just me or the full team lead-out's almost dead? It seems like the run-ins are now a combination of GC teams keeping their men safe and taking up road space of the sprinters teams.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. I think there is a combination of reasons for that, and I think one is the GC teams. Geez, they're a pain in the ass. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. You know, you've got 4 or 5 trains of just GC teams in the way. So that's one thing that can complicate the sprints. And the other one is, I think, the talent is really spread out across a lot of teams. And so I don't think, and because the level between the top tier, the top best sprint teams and the fifth teams is not much, it's really hard to take control of these finals.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and unless the finals are super technical, these big boulevards and that, no one's that strong that they can put anyone under that much pressure. So they are really messy sprints. They will get easier as we get longer, because people will start to get tired, and some teams are more adaptable than others or more robust than others. But yeah, they are very messy. And I think in these big races where everyone's at a very high level, there is not much difference between the best and the rest.
Can I just ask you a question there, Matt? The new kilometres to go rules, I'm getting very confused with this because I only hear on the day. Today it's going to be 5 kilometres before the finish, and the time will be taken. Experimental, they say. Then the next time I'm going, I'm saying it's 5K. No, it's 4K to go now. We're trying that one out. And of course, we always used 3 in the past. I thought the 5K worked pretty well, in fact, and it probably saved a few riders' time as it happened on that particular day.
Yeah, well, actually, the first stage, was it the first stage 5? The first stage that the Gramey won?
Yes, it was stage 3 into Turin. That was a 5K.
Okay, well, actually, yeah. So actually, probably a few people wouldn't have noticed that actually the commissaires didn't implement the rule correctly anyway, because the rule is if the old 3K rule, but you have to be directly involved or inhibited by the crash to lose time. Now, when you saw that one, all the GC guys are set up. And you technically can't do that. You know, you're supposed to be, if you're involved in the crash, sure, but there wasn't 150 people involved in that crash, was there?
No.
So my opinion on that is I think the time should stop at 5K to go. I know the organisers wouldn't be real keen on that because they don't want the television showing the GC guys sitting up and rolling in for the last 5K. But guess what? Who controls television? Don't show it. Don't show it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be on the front of the race. Yeah.
Exactly. Show the sprint.
Yeah.
So I think it would make things a lot safer if they said 5K to go, time stops where you are at 5K to go. That's your time, and then just concentrate on the sprints, because you're still going to get 70, 80 guys that is, you know, the lead out guys and all those guys contesting the sprint. And I think it'll be a race till 5K to go, which is fine. But then you've still got 6 or 7 minutes that the GC guys can get out of the way and let the sprint teams do their thing, and a lot less risk.
Exactly
right. And it moves all the teams into a safe zone. I agree.
Yep.
It makes common sense. Let the sprinters have the moment now. We're only applying the flat stages, so it doesn't.
Yep.
In the mountains, you race for real time, and you're chasing the Tour de France victory. Yeah.
You're talking 6 stages. You're talking 6 stages in the Tour de France maximum. So it's.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a wise move.
Yeah.
One good advancement for the coverage I've seen is when they cut to the audio inside the team cars, communicating to the riders and back and forth. How does that work from a team's perspective, Whitey? Do you have any control over what they can use, or all teams hooked up? How does the process work?
Yeah, so we were asked and we said no. Yeah, I think they're using 5 or 6 teams, and for us, we're listening to that as well. And actually, they're not giving away tactics, but sometimes they're giving away some good little nuggets of information for us and other teams. So we weren't keen on doing that, and I think they're offering pittance to be involved in that. So I get it. I get it that it can be entertaining for people watching at home. But as far as performance-wise, we were like, no, we're good to keep what happens in the car stays in the car.
Yeah,
we use
the
it on the TV,
600 Swiss francs didn't do it.
No, couldn't get it over the line. Couldn't get it over the line there.
You should work for American television. You'd be fine.
What were you saying, Phil? I cut you off.
Whitey, I was going to say, I got a question for you. Sorry, mate. Go on, Phil. Go.
No, we do use the radio. It's slightly delayed, so the producer checks what they say first before he puts it to air. We don't tell the viewers that, but there's a delay, and sometimes he doesn't use them at all. We had some good stuff off Ineos because they were advising Pidcock, who was up there, and things like move your riders to the front now to protect and back off for Tom, and things like make sure you eat in the last 30 kilometers, keep on eating, and stuff like that, which is nice. We never really give any tactics away, to be honest.
No.
Now, Whitey, have you ever seen a situation like what happened yesterday, where the 3 main favourites, in a situation where they're actually chasing hard, get away, catch the leaders, then sit up?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
that? Yeah, look, mate, I was out giving bottles and spare wheels on the yesterday, but I did watch a replay. No, it was a strange situation, but they're certainly tagging each other out of things, aren't they?
Yeah, they've cracked it with Vinegar because he just sat on them, but they actually caught them. Yeah. They actually rode into the front group, and then the 3 of them just sat up and went back to the chasing bunch. Roglic must have been licking his lips, thanking buddy whatever God there is, because he was done.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was time. It was a time they could have really put some nice little buffer on those 3 and Roglic for sure. But look, I think Vingegaard's definitely playing the defensive game here, and I think he'll be really hoping that he grows into the back end of the Tour, which he probably will. So I understand his tactics. I understand his tactics, but it was a strange one where they could have cooperated and taken 30, 40 seconds really on Roglic, which would have been nice for all of them really, because we don't know how strong Rodrigue's going to be in this back end too. He hasn't started, I don't think, at 100%, but he's a champion and he knows how to get it done. So he's always going to be a threat in the back end of this race as well.
I agree. And don't forget, Vingegaard, not having pinned a number on since mid-April after that horrendous crash, he doesn't know how his body's going to go. And I think he's a little bit afraid of it, of what's going to happen. And so he's watching and waiting. Pogacar's like a little imp. He just charges around. He's like, oh, let's have a race now. He's not really planning a tactic at all. He just wants to race. He's frightening when he does this.
Yeah. They broke the mold with that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Absolutely, they did.
Hey, Whitey, just back on Dylan, have they seen sales of those Batman racing glasses fly through the roof now? Because he was copping a bit of flack, but marginal gains, mate.
Mate, it's the biggest piss take of the Tour de France. That is. I don't, mate. the guy from one of our sponsors, our Chicon, our glass sponsors. Now they came round as they do before the tour, and all the boys got a fresh pair of tour glasses, and I remember going to the start on the first day, and I looked over, and Dylan's wearing his race glasses to the start there, just sitting there as Dylan does there, and I looked over and I thought, the hell is that covering his nose? And I said, Dylan, what's that? And he just looked at me, the stone, he just said, you like them? And I said, where? What are they? He said, and I said, oh, the new, these blah blah blah. And I said, oh, I dare you to wear them in the race. I dare you. And I didn't know. I knew nothing about them. And anyway, so he's rocked up and he's wore them. I don't think he wore them the first day. I think he wore them only on the first sprint stage. And I think he wore them to sign on one day, and then people started noticing them. But no, they're sold out according to the website. They are sold out.
Mate,
Well, he got banned. He got banned from wearing them for one day because they said that they weren't available to the mass market, so they had to prove they were before they were allowed to ride them again.
Correct. Anything that we use has to be commercially available. But he's the only one in the team who is wearing them, and I suppose it saves on sun cream.
Well, do they come in different sizes? Because I'm just looking at John's melon there, and he's got a different size hoot.
Yeah, they are custom made.
Well, tell them I'm available for sponsorship.
Now, it's the rest day. We don't want to chew up too much of your time, mate. But our next potty's on Saturday. What have you got targeted over the next couple of days? You obviously got a few options.
Yeah, we have, mate. Well, tomorrow we'd like to kick off the second part of the tour with another stage win with Dylan, actually. So we've probably got 2 guaranteed sprints this week, and there's the third one that's probably maybe a little bit out of his probably more suited to Bling. And then we get some tougher stages at the back end of the week. But we're really the boys are just have a real easy day today, and we know if we can deliver Dylan as fresh as possible to the finish, we know that he's as fast as anyone here. So it'd be really nice to grab another stage win tomorrow. There's probably a few other teams thinking the same, but so we said no one's dominated the sprint so far, and I think there's a lot of guys at a similar level. So it's how fresh you keep your sprinter and how well they're delivered in that final 10 minutes will be the key. But it's exciting going into the rest day with a win in the bag and with a group of guys who now are all healthy with a lot of racing still to come.
Yeah, so it's next Saturday, which is the 13th. Saturday the 13th. It's the day of the big climb up the Pla d'Ate, where Phil Anderson won in 1981. Yep. And we'll be doing it early, so we'll get you guys again. That would be great. And we're doing all-nighter at this wonderful the Fat Chef. So so we're inviting any of our Detour fans who live in the Melbourne region to come and join us at the Fat Chef shop 11. What is it? 180.
Yes, hang on, John. There you go.
180 Gaffney Street, Coburg North. For those who aren't watching us, so an old racing guy from Latrobe Valley, who's a bit of a legend in this industry. So Paul Richards, it's his restaurant. It's
and look at this food. This
look, seriously, the Viking Lost at Sea platter. We've got oysters, crayfish, you name it. It's on the menu that day. So anyone wants to come and join us, I'm sorry, Maddie, we can't pass any through the wires, but you'd love it.
Check him out on Instagram as well. Fat Chef. Never trust the skinny chef. It's probably one of the longest Instagram handles going around, but they get a lot of traffic because a lot of people like food and they love food videos. So if you're around, Whitey, we would have had you down there in a heartbeat, mate. We could have started a big carnivore challenge, but anyway.
Making me hungry.
One of the other photos I noticed on socials is not a brand new bus, but it is a newish bus for the team. That's the one at the tour at the moment with the single seats. Has that been a revelation single swivel seats?
Yeah. Look, I still like the design of our other bus. It's more room for the boys there because those double seats only get used for bags anyway. But we've got a new truck actually. The one of the pop out trucks. So that when we had a couple of days there, pretty average weather, so the mechanics can work inside the truck, which is a newbie. We took that to Slovenia just to give it a trial run, but it's brand new, so it's the first Grand Tour it's done. It's a great one. So we've got a couple of new heavy vehicles floating around, but I still the original bus is still a favourite for me. I think the design of it, minus the double seats, is a good one.
The gantry killer.
The gantry, yeah, it's still running. The engine on it's still good.
Brand new aircon. The works.
Yep. All good to go.
Good stuff. Well, we really appreciate you joining the show. Anything before he goes, Phil or Iffy?
Yeah, well, I think we're going to talk about our sponsor for today is the Amy's Grand Fondo, which a lot of people thought would have not been on with the demise of the actual Amy Gillett Foundation, which is a terrible story itself. But the Amy's Grand Fondo, which is an amazing day in September, is so successful that the organisers of those two events and the government have kept it going, because next year, 2025, it is the World Grand Fondo Championship, which will be in October. So people can still qualify. So I've got all the Green Edge old farts. We're all coming there. Vazzy, myself, and a few of the mates. Ronnie Gower and a few of those. We're all doing it. We're staying at Phil Anderson's on the Saturday night, which is the 14th, and on the 15th is the actual ride. We're not doing the big one. We're doing the medio ride, which is from Apollo Bay to Lorne. But hey, it's pretty special. And we're going to ride 10K from Phil Anderson's place to Apollo Bay, so that adds a little bit extra. So it's about 60K for us, which is that's not bad. Not bad.
Not bad for old farts, as you said.
Yep.
But if anyone wants to get involved with that, Iffy, they got to go to amysgrandfondo.org.au and register your interests. But they get thousands every year.
A lot of people I was talking to didn't realise it was on. They just thought, well, when they'd heard about Amy Gillett Foundation, demise, they didn't think that it would be on. But it's you still can qualify to get into the World Championship in 2025 by lining up. So you can get a late entry in. So make sure you jump on board and take it on. It's going to be a wonderful weekend in September.
Do you still get out on the bike much, Whitey, or you still running?
Yeah, I do, mate. I just jumped out of the shower before. I did a nearly 10K run with Matt Heyman and Dave McPartland this morning. And I ride at home more so with Geordie and my daughter as well. I still get out a little bit at home. Yeah, definitely, mate.
Is Geordie still obsessed with the bikes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he still ringing up and telling you, giving you instructions on what to do?
Yeah, no, he's going well, mate. He's going well. He's his first year under 17s this year. He's going really well.
He'd want a pair of Dylan's glasses, yeah.
With the beaker,
yeah.
You never know. You never know. I don't know. Haven't get a smaller nose piece, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A smaller nose piece.
Very good. Well, appreciate you coming on the show, mate. Enjoy the rest of your rest day and checking in with the guys, and we hope that you can jag another couple of stages this week.
Yeah, it'd be nice, mate. Jerry gets in today, so we'll catch up with him tonight at dinner.
Yep, sounds good, mate. Hopefully he's brought over some
he was supposed to call us in, but I rang him yesterday. He said he was in Hamburg or somewhere, but he would try and get on board, but say, that's all right. We did all right without him.
Yeah, no, he has been our lucky charm over the years, so the odds are getting better.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Well, we wish you all the best.
Guys.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Go on, you Whitey.
All the best,
Phil.
buddy. Yeah, thank you very much, John. Dan, look after yourselves, boys. See you on Saturday, I hope. If I work the technical bit out again, should be all right.
Yeah.
We're going to work out
sure,
now. Yes, yeah. All good.
Just get you plug in the headphones next time.
We'll
get those headphones next time.
I'll dig them out. I'll dig out to charge them up. But one interesting thing I'm doing today, by the way, 5 o'clock our time here. I'm talking to Ben Stiller about the Paul Sherwin project. I spoke to Ben yesterday to set him up for the Zoom because we have all our big donors who've helped us create this school in Uganda for the kids, which is a huge success. I went there this year, and Ben said he would love to come on. We used to like Paul. We used to go out with Paul when we used to go to New York, and Ben came to the tour once, but I assumed he was in New York, and it turns out he's in Hawaii. And so, but he said, I'm still coming on the Zoom, he said, and I'll just make a black coffee because I reckon it is about 5 o'clock in Hawaii a.m.
Yeah.
Well, he famously wrecked Lance's time trial bike. Remember before he in 2009 when he was riding with Astana, he got on the time trial bike and was doing a stupid video, and he stuffed up the chain, and it was a big mad scramble before the start to get it sorted. And he remember he missed the yellow jersey by less than a second, and I think that's still his fault. So
I don't think I'll mention that to Ben later on today.
Maybe lead with that.
You know, Phil, I'm getting dangerous. I've got a brand new bike got delivered the other day. It's
my goodness.
I've just got to turn another one off. Hang on.
A Factor Visma, which is like a gravel bike built for roadies. It's a beautiful bike, absolutely beautiful bike. And it's got that new SRAM E-tap where you push the right-hand button down for to go down and push the left one to go up, which is great. But I thought, well, how do I change the bloody chain rings? But you've got to hit them both together and it changes the chain ring. Amazing.
I've had that problem. Couldn't get on. In fact, I rode the whole ride on the 54 because I couldn't work out how the heck you get the chain on the inside.
Hit them both together, mate.
I could not work it out. I tried everything. I was going
There you are. All good.
Now I've got one last plug before we go. And remember Jason Cruz from the Maldives. He was a great supporter of the show. He's currently the GM at the JA Manafaru in the Maldives. So if you want to check out an amazing holiday, go to the jaresortshotels.com. But he's put us in touch with a really good group that are raising a lot of money for a great cause, and that is the Sisters of the Saddle. So if you go to the sistersofthesaddle.com, they branched out in late 2021, and in late 2022, they raised over $300,000 for traction for young people. It was specifically to develop their bike build program for Indigenous young people. And they've been doing some fantastic work, the girls up there, and they're doing a bit of a fundraiser coming up. They've got one in, I think, the 19th of July. So what's that, 11 days from now?
That's
birthday. So it's at Victoria Park Marquee. And they're it's sort of to kickstart their fundraising because they've got a big ride happening in October. They're going from the Sunshine Coast of Brisbane on the 25th to the 27th of October. And they want to raise as much money as possible for a great cause. So get behind the fantastic work that they're doing. So jump on sistersofthesaddle.com because, as I said, they're raising some great money.
Victoria Park Marquee, is that old Collingwood territory or is not in Melbourne? No,
I don't think so, mate.
Victoria Park. Right.
That's a different Victoria Park. But this year they've got 40 plus riders that are going to get behind that ride from Sunshine Coast to Brisbane. They want to raise over 400K. So get behind a good cause. Well, that wraps the show, guys. Appreciate you coming on, Phil, and all the best for the next couple of chunks for the Tour de France, mate. What number's this for you now?
52.
52 tours. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do they, they give everyone a token for 25. Do they have anything for 50?
They give you 20, 40. They didn't give, there wasn't anything for 50. So the race organization on 50, Christian Prudhomme, came up behind me during a very private back table ceremony where he got a few beers and a glass of wine. I didn't know anything about it. I was taken away from the commentary position at the end of the day. And there was a little table around the back, just the organization of the tour. and a couple of cameras and a couple of journalists. And it was fantastic. And I didn't see Christian there, and he came up behind me, and I saw the reflection of the maillot jaune, and he whispered in my ear, he said, "Phil, this is the first time I have ever signed a maillot jaune, and I do it for you." And that was his word. And there it was. And I was so lucky that day because there's only two of the race directors over those 50 years still alive. The other one is Jean-Marie Leblanc, and his signature was on it because in the morning, Jean-Marie Leblanc had been at the start of that stage. Obviously, we're at the finish. I didn't think about this. And so I got both the signatures on the maillot jaune. Like the one behind you, I put it on the wall back on. Yeah.
Sensational.
Good stuff, mate. I appreciate your time, Phil. Thanks, Iffy.
Looking forward
Thanks,
to
everyone,
it.
for tuning in. And we'll be back again on Saturday. Iffy, what time are we going? 4 o'clock?
Yes, 4 o'clock at the Fat Chef. We'll be going live, and then we're kicking on because it's 24 hours on the weekend. So we're kicking on for the whole show. So we're going to have a fun night. So anyone who wants to join us, that you can just jump on the Fat Chef. There is a way, or email us, and we're going to have a party. It'll be a really, really good night. So I'd love
it's gonna be a cracker.
any fans of the Detour to come and join us.
Yep, sounds good. Have a good one, Phil. Thanks, Iffy.
All the
We'll
best,
be back
guys.
soon.
Take care. Okay, ciao.
See ya.
Since its inception in 1904, only 8 Australians have donned the prestigious yellow jersey.